Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, The Gemini Journalist. This is your girl Ash. Thanking you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to join me here on my channel as I read the chapter of my novella, The Rookie, The Royal Wedding. So we are down to chapter 11. And we will be having some wonderful time here together. Once again, it's just going to be a voiceover. You won't be seeing me live on this footage today. You'll be seeing me soon, but no worries. We'll be doing a voiceover today. For those of you who are not aware, I have my novels available on Amazon. And you can definitely go ahead and check it out and just type my name in, Asha Gonzalez, or you can just tap on the links down below. You will get the .com, the United States link. Of course, the .uk would be amazon.co.uk. Alright, and if you're not able to get on board, you can always reach out to me and I will assist you with locating my books. But the books are on Amazon and you can definitely go ahead and check them out. So I have the book 1 of the Rookie series, which is Helena Carson Finds True Love. The book 2, which I am doing on my channel for the next few weeks with you, is The Royal Wedding. I have a teen novella that's out for young girls who are tied up in a little teen pregnancy and believe that after this is where the world ends. No, that is not the end of the world. Life does not end there. You are young, you are beautiful, you are a strong black girl. Make sure you check it out. Parents, go ahead, check that out. Adults, go ahead and check it out. You can get a copy for any young girl that's facing times like these. Check it out and purchase a copy for them. Alright, so the links, once again, for that book, of course, I didn't say that is the call it what you will, my rape story. So check it out. And also for the kids who are learning how to count, I have a reading counter ebook that's available, counting from 1 to 10. Of course, my little 4-year-old Rainbow, she assisted me with putting this together. So jump on board, tap on the links down below in the description. Just go ahead and check it out. Lots of good things coming ahead as well. So remember, coming your way is the 3rd part of the Rookie series. I'm not going to give you too much details. I spilled the beans just a little bit in a previous video, but not going to stray too much. So without further delay, let's just dive right in. The Rookie, The Royal Wedding. Chapter 11, A Safe Recovery. Good morning, Buttercup. Slept well? Hey, Doc. Dad. She smiled and rose slowly to greet Dr. Azan as he approached her bed. How are we feeling today? Much better, I guess. I've been out most of the time I was here, so for what I can recall, I've been pretty good. Well, I've got great news for you, kiddo. Yeah, what's that? You get out today. Oh, that's great. You don't sound too cheerful about it, Lena. No, I'm fine. It's just that with all this work and you're on your break, I sent them a copy of your doctor's certificate. So you are going to pack some things and your mom's coming to get you. What? Dad, I'm grown. And you will always be our little baby. Now have some fruit and get some more rest. You're going to need it. For what? You're a detective. I get it. But do you have to ask so many questions? Helena rolled her eyes, allowing the room to remain quiet. I'm all grown up now. All I want is for you and Mom to stop treating me like a baby. I get it. You both love spoiling me and all, but you guys just gotta go easy on the mom and dad role sometimes. The room was quiet. Dr. Azan realized something behind him had Helena's attention. He turned around to see Augustus standing in the doorway. Mr. Royal, good morning. He stretched out a hand to greet Augustus. Dr. Azan, he responded vaguely. How is my beautiful fiancé doing today? You're still back on that nonsense? With all due respect, Doc, Helena and I have been living together for the period of our relationship. You were never in the picture, and you sure as hell never had an impact on the way we did things. When she said yes, you weren't there to help her make a decision. She did that on her own. So please, could you just excuse us for a moment if you have completed all your necessary medical checks? Dr. Azan turned his gaze to Helena's. She propped herself up further on the bed, took his hand in hers, and patted it gently. It's okay, Dad. I'll be all right. He looked back at Augustus, released his hand from her grip, and exited the room. What was all that? Helena, I know I've a lot of shit that you argue about and blame me for, but at the end of the day, let's look at the brighter side of things. He was nowhere around when we first met. In fact, regardless of me not asking, never once have I heard you say you've called and spoken about this or that. I'm not going to allow him to be the reason why I don't marry you. If you want to call off the engagement at this point, that's on you. I am fine with whatever makes you comfortable. But I am not going to allow your father to speak to me the way he is, because I could not complete one medical form. Helena slowly lay back in her bed. She closed her eyes and hoped that Augustus would just stop whining over and over like a spoilt brat. Are you even going to say anything? She kept her eyes closed and did not respond. Helena! She kept her silence. He stormed out the room, slammed the door, and walked out the hospital without even trying to find out her medical state at this point. When Dr. Azan returned, he propped his head up to peep through the door to see how she was doing. Helena was laying peacefully on the bed. He could see her heart monitor from his view, and everything seemed pretty normal. He still entered the room. Helena, are you awake? But she did not answer. Helena was not in the mood to speak to neither her father nor Augustus. She lay there hoping he would just go away too, but he didn't. Listen, I'm sorry, okay? I guess I was just upset at the situation and overreacted a bit. Your mother phoned. She'll be here to pick you up shortly. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna remove all these attachments. Some green juice and salt snacks are on the side table if you feel hungry. When you get out, please ensure that you work on your diet. You need to eat lots of foods with iron and drink lots of liquids, especially water. You need to rid yourself of anything that is stressful, or else you're gonna wind up back in here. I will write a prescription for you. Your mother can take it over to the pharmacy and have it filled at my expense. I love you with all my heart, Helena. Never forget that. All your mother and I wanted for you is to be happy. You have my number. When she gets here, a nurse will escort you out. He leaned over, kissed her forehead, and walked away. She sneaked a peek to watch as he exited the room, then quietly shut them before he noticed. A couple of hours later, Helena's mother arrived with her new husband, Brenton Stratson, one of the 4 brothers of the Stratson and Sons law firm, the firm where Helena's mom did her internship. Yup, you guessed it right. Helena's mom is a lawyer. Well, 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 look what we have here. If it isn't the beautiful Natasha and her oh so attractive husband, Stratson Jr. Do you always have to be so cheerfully sarcastic? She greeted him with a warm hug and turned to introduce her husband. Well, I don't need to introduce him. You already know who he is. And this is my new husband, Brenton. He has business this side of the town, and he decided to make the time to swing by. Swing by? Aren't you taking Lena back to your place? My place? Oh no, darling. I'm only here to check in to see how she was doing. Natasha, that wasn't the plan. She is packed and waiting for you. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, superhero dad, but she isn't coming with us. There are better things to do than sit around and babysit a grown-ass woman. Natasha! Dad, it's okay. Nurse Phillips had just bent the corner, pushing Helena's wheelchair, when they met upon the scramble in the lobby. I never wanted to go to her place anyway. She was always a gold digger, finding all these bunch of rich men. Then she runs off with their monies and find a new. You never stop, do you? You little... Natasha was making her way towards Helena when Brenton grabbed her. Let's not do this, he added. You better listen to your man, Helena added as she rose from her chair and walked over slowly to meet them. Or what? Your daddy gonna save you? Natasha jeered. You have always been selfish. I don't need you. I never even had you as a mother. Why would I need you now? You're all so selfish. Be gone, Cruella and Pongo. Helena signed herself out and called Augustus to pick her up. She sat outside in the park under a large oak tree, waiting. When he arrived, he loaded her things in the trunk, then assisted her into the seat. He handed him the prescription and told him to get it filled. When Augustus arrived at the prescription counter, the items were already packed and waiting to be collected. He handed the prescription to Nurse, thanked him, and rejoined Helena in the car, where she had connected her iPhone to the radio and was listening to spiritual rhythms. He placed the bag on the back seat, then hopped into the vehicle, then backed out the parking lot. Helena opened her eyes in time to see her father running towards them. Stop, she whispered. What's going on? Augustus asked. Helena was already pointing towards the windshield. It's Dad. He's signaling for us to stop. Augustus parked on the curb, then wound his window down. Dr. Azan walked around the vehicle to Helena's side. I'm cooking up your favorite tonight. Why don't you both come over for dinner and we can reintroduce ourselves properly? Helena turned towards Augustus. Sure, that would be great, he responded. Awesome. When you're coming, be sure to bring her favorite. Augustus looked at Helena with a puzzled stare. He got this, Dad. Dr. Azan patted the door and stepped away, allowing them to leave. See you at 6. 6 it is, Dad. At their place, Augustus unloaded the bags, then assisted Helena into the house. She could move around on her own, but was not as strong as she wanted to be. I know you, little Miss Independent and all, but now is the time to allow me to assist you recover. Would you like us to go visit the farm? She was so mellow with the way she approached the bed and sat. She didn't respond to Augustus's question. She felt extremely peaceful and just wanted to relax some more. Let's talk after my nap, please. Would you care for a bite or drink? I guess. What would you like? Maybe something fruity, some apple juice or orange juice. By the time Augustus fetched Helena's juice, she was already passed out. She had an overwhelming stay at the hospital and was exhausted. She mostly had cat naps and was anxious to be out and in the comfort of her own space. Augustus threw a blanket over her, dimmed the lights, and went back downstairs to prepare himself a sandwich. While he was in the kitchen, he heard a shuffling sound coming from the garage. He opened the utensils drawer and pulled out a knife. He cautiously approached the door, then flung it open. There was no one in sight, and the shuffling had stopped. He stood in the doorway for a bit, then bang! The trash can they kept in the garage was overturned. The first thing that came to mind were rats, because he knew there was no way a dog or cat could get in so easily. To his surprise, it was a raccoon. It was skimming through the trash can for the remains of food. When it saw him, it screamed and disappeared without a trace. Augustus didn't see where it escaped, but all he knew was it did. He shifted a few items to see if there were holes or a place that would have been a channel for them to travel through, but he didn't. The landline began ringing. He rushed in to answer it. By the time he opened the line, the caller on the other end had already disconnected. He stood listening to the dial tone for a few minutes before he returned the receiver to its base. Augustus was aggravated. He allowed a simple phone call and fuzzy little hairball raccoon to irritate him. He flung the plate in the sink and stormed out of the kitchen. Just as he flung himself onto the couch, he heard a soft whisper. "Everything okay?" Helena was halfway down the staircase. He rushed to assist her, but she rejected him. "I can do it myself." "You really need to go easy." "Ha! Go easy? Tell that to her?" He rolled his eyes, sighed and walked away. "Want something to eat?" "No, actually. I just had that glass of juice you left for me." "Thank you." She made it down the stairs safely and joined him in the kitchen. He was trying to calm his mind and see if his appetite would reopen. "You really need to take it down a notch with that temper of yours. You get so heated over simple things. I bet whatever upset you just now was something minor." "Well, you bet wrong." He threw the bread on the counter and reached for the peanut butter and jelly in the cupboard above Helena. "Well, tell me what it is." "It's nothing important," he snapped. "Well, I'd like to hear it. If you must, it was just a stupid raccoon." She laughed. "A raccoon? What in the world could one raccoon possibly have done to tip you off?" "Oh, and a phone call too. Are you for real?" "Nah, you're loco. I'm gonna watch some TV. If you see my hubby, tell him he can join me." She turned away with nothing else to be said. Later that evening, Augustus and Helena started preparing themselves for dinner at her dad's place when the doorbell rang. "Who's that now at such despicable timing?" "You go ahead and get yourself sorted out, Lena. I'll get it." When Augustus opened the door, Natasha and Brenton were standing in the doorway. "May I help you?" "Why, sure you can, darling. This is my daughter's home, and we are here to pay her a visit since her stepdaddy and I were in the area." "Oh, you have some nerve, mother. Get out of my house now." "Well, is that the way your mother raised you?" "You really want an answer to that question, Natasha Stratson? I think it's best you and Pongo hit the road, Cruella. I am sick of your gold-digging ass now." Helena flung the door from Augustus's grip and allowed it to slam in both their faces. "I do not want those two on my patio. Next time, use the peephole, and when you see their faces, walk the fuck away from the door and make sure they hear you stepping." "Lena." "Augustus, I will tell you what that witch did to me, why I had to call you to come get me. Right now, I just wanna escape. So my answer is yes. Let's go to the farm." Helena and Augustus packed for the farm. Dinner with her dad turned out wonderful. They had a really great time. "Dad, we've decided to take the time you suggested and head up to the Royals' farm." "Well, that sounds wonderful." He turned to Augustus and said, "Please ensure she maintains a healthy diet daily. She's very stubborn, but it is a must. If you guys need anything, feel free to give me a shout out. You always know where to find me. I'm mostly from home to work, or sometimes I hang with a couple of guys up the street at Johnny's Gamers a few blocks out from the hospital." "We'll be okay, Daddy, but I'll call and check in with you to see to it that you're doing okay. You need to find yourself an amazing lady friend too, and show that witch that you're past her." He laughed as they both bid each other goodbye. "Have a safe travel, you two. Thanks again for having us, Doc. Please call me Denzel." "Thanks again, Denzel. I'll be sure she calls you when we arrive." "Welcome home, darlings. It has been a long time." "It has been a while indeed, Mrs. Royal, but you know how demanding our jobs are." "Yes, dear, I certainly do." "You're feeling much better now, are you?" "Yes, I am, thank you. This escape should be great for me. Maybe a week or two. Things are too crazy back home right now." "Well, you come on in. Get yourself washed up with a nice cool shower. That was a long journey after all." "Yeah, too long." Helena smiled. Augustus grabbed their bags and joined Helena up the stairs. Take that shower, love. I'm gonna catch up with Mom a bit. You'll be okay, right? Oh yes, sure. I'm just gonna chill a bit. Maybe join you guys shortly. Okay, sweetheart. He kissed her cheek and left the room. Helena was startled. A kiss on the cheek? That's not like Gus. She threw herself on the bed and gazed at the ceiling. Everything's caving in all at once. She felt her phone vibrate in her right pocket of her jeans. She had several missed calls. Her dad, her mom, and work. Of course, they had to be calling. She rolled her eyes as she slid the notification of the missed calls for work aside. She dialed her dad's number, rose from her bed, and made her way to the balcony. The fresh country's evening air gracefully blew through her hair like a hairdryer set on cool. She took a deep breath in and exhaled softly. You made it in okay? Yeah, we sure did. The place is pretty cool and a nice breeze coming in. Yup, I'm hearing it on my end. Well, you go eat and get some rest and we'll talk soon, okay? Sure thing, Dad. Give my greetings to Augustus's family for me. I will. Love you, Daddy. I love you too, sweetheart. She disconnected the call and made her way back into the bedroom. Hey, my little love bug. Helena was on her way down the stairs when Augustus met her midway. Ready for a bite? I guess. He took her hand in his and escorted her down the stairs. What'd you like? Something light, I guess. Still a little packed from Dad's dinner. Would you like some fruit? Or you prefer milk and a sandwich? Milk and a sandwich sounds great. Cheese and lettuce, tomato with turkey slices. Awesome, sounds perfect for me. As Augustus made his way into the kitchen, she headed outside where Mr. and Mrs. Royal were seated. Mr. Royal rose to greet her. I thought you were resting, love. Not quite. Was reaching out to my dad. Let him know we got in okay and also take a quick shower. Good, good. So how have things been? Well, they've been good and bad with a touch of crazy, she laughed. Well, you've come to the right place for healing. I believe so too, Mr. Royal. Come, take a seat. They chatted a bit until Augustus joined them. Here you go, love. He handed her the plate with the sandwich and rested the glass of milk on the table next to her. Thanks, sweetheart. He took a seat next to her and wrapped his arms around her for comfort. So, what are you guys up to for tomorrow? Augustus asked his parents. You know us old folks are very laid back up in these countrysides. It would be up to you both to say what you have in mind, his father responded, taking a sip of his whiskey he had set down on the table next to him. Well, Helena started and was cut off by Augustus. Helena needs to rest, so we'll be taking each day a step at a time. Well, if you want to come join me in the mornings, I often tend to the cows while John chases the horses out for their morning run. That would be wonderful, Mrs. Royal. I'll see how I feel once I rise. Then I will let you know what I've decided to do. That's fine. Take your time, my dear. Well, we are going to go fetch ourselves some rest after all. We are early risers. Mr. Royal rose from his seat and awaited Mrs. Royal to join him. You two have a good night. Thanks, Mom. Good night, Dad. Good night, son. Good night, Helena. Good night, Mr. Royal. Good night to you too, Mrs. Royal. Good night, love. Helena and Augustus watched them as they walked away. Mrs. Royal's hand locked in a tight grip around Mr. Royal's upper arm. Augustus turned to Helena and said, You should get some rest too. You had a long day and you still haven't recovered fully. Remember, you just got out today. I know. Can we soak up a little bit more of this for 5 more minutes? She was captivated by the scenery, the stars that lit the sky like a disco ball, and the whistling sounds of the wind and all other natural sounds that surrounded them. Alright, so that was The Rookie, The Royal Wedding, Chapter 11, A Safe Recovery. Thank you again for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to join me here on the Gemini Journalist. Once again, you are joining your girl Ash. So grateful to always have you. Remember, if you have not yet purchased a copy of your book, check the links down below. Reach out to me across my social media sites, which are also included in the description down below. If you are locally, we have the copies here for you. So on Amazon, you can get your copy ordered and shipped out to you. Or if you're here in Jamaica, definitely I will have my copy delivered to you, autographed personally by your girl Ash. Alright, so once again, thank you for joining me here on the Gemini Journalist. Remember, if you are a first timer, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell. You don't want to miss upcoming videos. Now, if you are here and you enjoyed what you saw on the Gemini Journalist today, please ensure you hit that like button. All my viewers today, make sure you hit share, tell a friend, have someone join you here on the journey as you join me on my journey as a Jamaican author. Once again, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Remember, wear that mask, keep yourself and your family safe. Have a blessed weekend. Stay safe.